This is 2010. This is Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan in 2010 was in the beginning of the ethnic war. During this 1 week, 10 days, Uzbeks and Kyrgyz, they killed each other. And it was very terrible to see this. I was very upset. And I was also there. I talked with people. I saw this situation. And till this time, till this moment, I can't forget that ruins which I saw there. I can just give some little example. In the south of that part, we have river, small river. And if any people, no depends at their nationality, Kyrgyz, Uzbeks, if they lost their relatives, their sister, brothers, they're coming to this river and they're waiting to find their body in this river just floating. And they need to take their body and to bury their bodies under the ground. And so it was really terrible, and I was very shocked to see this situation. And I started to think, how can I stop this? How can I help to my community, to my people? Kyrgyzstan is a very small country with a population of 5.5 million people. In the north side, we have borders with Kazakhstan, in the west with Uzbekistan, and in the southwest, we have borders with Tajikistan, and the southeast with China. Till these last 20 years, we don't have exactly borders with Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. Kyrgyzstan is our common home. We are a large family of different nationalities living together. We are all live under the one sky. And around Surat, around us there, Tianshan Mountains, it's a magic mountains. We have our green pastures, green forests. But due to the high level of migrations, unemployment, and economical crash in our country, and the unstable political situation in our country, we have conflicts in the south of part our country every day. This conflict, it happened every day. And we started work with the next project, with the voice of women and youth in promoting peace and tolerance, because their voices, it should be heard with another people. This project was based on the innovative methodology of a voice of these people, with the active involvement of the community, and community named by youth and women. So throughout this camera, throughout their photography, they can show their voices, they can show their problem of their community. And we started work with them. We started to teach them how to use this camera. This is a great instrument to solve their own local problems. We identify researchers from this community, so they did this research for them, for this community. In this photo, you can say that it's only garbage. That time, for me, also was only garbage. But after, when we discussed it in our community dialogues, they explain it that this is garbage. This is a school, Kyrgyz school. Around this Kyrgyz school, living Uzbek people. And they are always route their garbage to this territory, to this Kyrgyz school. And so, Kyrgyz people and Uzbeks, they are fighting day to day because of this garbage. But throughout the implementing microgrant component of this project, we could solve these problems. These little kids, these women, they could solve their own problem in their community. And I was really happy to see the happy faces of these kids. And it was my first amazing experience in the south part of my country. And I was just thinking, how can I help that people? How can I do my own contribution? And so it was my first big experience to do my own contribution, to help people, to give them hope that they can do this, they can solve their problem. And these little kids, these women, they could find their local solution for their local development. And if they can do, why I'm not can do this for another people? And I started work with this woman, with this community. I'm working till these days. And it's very important to keep their traditions in this local community. So it's also important to revitalize our traditional knowledges for community and ecosystem resilience. One of the good example is next project. It's promoting community joint forest management in Kyrgyzstan. So why forest, why co-management? Because it's a very big problem in this beautiful forest system, corruption of our government, corruption in government system. We took just these target areas where we worked. It's a different parts in the north and the south part of our country. It's a Chonkemin National Park with 3 villages and Batken Leshoz. So one of the big problem also, it's an illegal logging to the Chonkemin National Park. I'm going to tell you just only about one example of this forest, a little forest. Biodiversity in that forest is amazing. They have all the very rich forest in this system. There are more than 730 plant species among them, 2 endemic from them. And a lot of these animals, plants, they're in our red book, red data book of Kyrgyzstan. So we implement this project. There are a lot of components was in this project. One of them, it's a value chain analysis of the forest products. Why we did it? We need to identify the products. From that depend on these pupils, these locals, people, and what is they need to improve their livelihood in this stage. So in this chart you can see that how they really depend on the forest products. They need to gather their herbs from there, they need wood, they need, for example, mushrooms also. And it's very important to bring to show the result of your researches to the community again. And we also doing this. We show these charts to this community that the local knowledges of the Kyrgyz, if they're using in the forest research, like planting trees, how they're doing this, their beliefs, Kyrgyz traditional beliefs. For example, one of the Kyrgyz traditional beliefs that nobody can throw the garbage to the water, any water, river, lake, any water. And if you will do this, something will happen with your mother. So our pupils, our Kyrgyz people, they believe this, and they are keeping this tradition, and they are not throwing any garbage to the water. So it's one of the way, just one of the little example how they are using traditional knowledges to keep our environmental clean, our ecosystem, our biodiversity. You can see in this chart, we started to work with people, with community, to show these old photos, how they are losing their biodiversity here. You can see there's fox. In 2050, we will not have our fox in this forest. Loss of ecosystem. There is a big problem with the losing our biodiversity, losing the ecosystem health, climate change, it's everything. We are rapidly losing our critical life supporting system maybe somewhere. And now we are also losing the precious pool of human knowledges and languages that can tell us so many things about how to live sustainably in this our changing world now, how to live in this planet, the only home that we have. And we worked with these people, with this community. Together with this community, we developed the model of co-management, forest jointly management system in that area, which will base it on using traditional knowledges to management this forest. So it is important to help to people build their capacity of these communities and to sustainably use their own natural resources. And also it's important to create the small enterprises to improve their livelihood in these villages where they don't have another opportunity. They don't have big plants, they don't have factories, big industries in these small villages. So they need just only sustainably use their natural resources for improving their livelihood. With this chart, here you can see that general meeting of this community is the main level of the highest level of management. And here we divided people for the users, like mushroom users, beekeeping users, like the secondary resources. And after also we involved the government sector, this National Park Administrative, they also working together with them. Tabiat Ordo, it's the main executive, and the name of Tabiat Ordo, it's also something like traditional, because Tabiat from Kyrgyz, it means natural. Ordo, it's home, so natural home, something like Tabiat Ordo. Auditing system, communities, and everything here is connecting, everything is depend which is other here. We started work just only with this small area. With this big forest, we took just small square in this forest. And we worked with them. And the last 2 years, we achieved these good results. They stopped cutting trees. This local community, they are working like a voluntary only. They are keeping their forest. They are improving their knowledge on how to use these natural resources and be sustainable in there. It's very important to keep our traditions, to adapt them to the nowadays and use these knowledges. In the April this year, I went to India. I was in the ashram, Gandhi's ashram, and his word is like, message is my life. And I also would like to say that my message is my life. And I will do all my best to help my community, to keep to revitalize these traditional knowledges for this community and ecosystem. I really believe that traditional ecological knowledges, it's playing key role, like innovation solution to this in nowadays, innovative solution in our changing world, and it really will help to people to make a sustainable biodiversity in this our home. I believe that also the traditional ecological knowledges, they have ability to adapt it, to integrate it to this our world. And my mission here is to facilitate this integration, to work with this community, to build mechanisms how to involve, how to implement this throughout the programs, initiatives, and others. And I will do all my best to revitalize these traditional knowledges. So, thank you very much. Thank you.